1. Puy-Martin Castle. The mystery of the White Lady and wandering souls. In the quiet, mist-covered land of Sarlat-la-Canéda, France, there stands an ancient fortress shrouded in eerie fog, Puy-Martin Castle. Built in the 13th century during the 100 Years' War, this castle has witnessed countless bloody battles, lives lost in the most horrific of ways, and dark secrets buried deep within its stone walls. Today, the castle still stands in haunting beauty, with its age-old charm and imposing structure. But few know that it is one of the most terrifyingly haunted places in all of France. This place is more than a mere castle. Within its walls lies a realm of restless spirits and the chilling legend of the White Lady, a ghost whose presence can still be felt by those who dare visit. The legend of the White Lady begins with a tragic tale from the late 19th century. Thérèse, the wife of the castle's owner, was discovered having an affair by her enraged husband. His fury was not content with merely punishing her lover. He condemned Thérèse to a dark tower, where the walls slowly closed in around her, sealing her in solitary confinement, left to die in agony and despair. A tragedy that would never be forgotten, and thus Thérèse's spirit could never find peace. It is said that every night, around midnight, the ghost of a woman in a white dress roams the darkness, weeping for the miserable fate she suffered. Puy-Martin Castle is infamous not only for its grim history, but also for the strange and terrifying phenomena that haunt it to this day. The shadowed hallways and the very tower where Thérèse was imprisoned are now the site of inexplicable occurrences that chill the bone. The room where Thérèse was confined, a cold, lightless chamber, is said to be the source of horrific sounds that terrify those who venture near it after dark. Visitors who have dared to stand outside the room during silent nights claim to have heard the mournful cries and desperate wails emanating from within, as though Thérèse's tortured soul still struggles in the agonizing moments of her final days. More disturbing still, when darkness falls, the unmistakable sound of scratching can be heard from within, as if invisible claws are raking against the stone walls, the door, or anything within reach. These sounds are so sharp and distinct that many who hear them can no longer bear the terror and flee in panic, their hearts pounding in their chests. Strangely, every time someone stands near the window of this cursed room at midnight, a cold, bone-chilling presence wraps around them, as if an unseen entity is standing right beside them, watching their every move. Several visitors have even claimed that on some still nights, the hazy figure of a woman in a white dress materializes at the window. Yet, when they approach, the figure vanishes into thin air, leaving only the lingering sound of ghostly sobs echoing in the space. Beyond the room, certain corridors within the castle have become notorious for their own strange happenings. Unseen footsteps echo from behind, and eerie sounds from the shadows leave visitors with the unsettling feeling of being followed. Some claim to have felt an invisible presence brushing past them, cold and threatening, as though the spirits trapped within the castle are unable or unwilling to leave. Puy-Martin Castle, with its chilling phenomena and unexplainable sounds, seems to be a place where restless souls, especially that of Thérèse, remain bound to the earthly realm. But are there other spirits lurking here, waiting to reveal their stories? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Château de Fougères, the mystery of souls and eerie laughter. Deep within the silent forest of Fougères, the Château de Fougères rises like a gateway into a realm never fully explored, an unsettling place that stirs a primal fear in the heart of those who encounter it. More than just an ancient castle, this dark edifice has become a focal point for countless ghostly legends, where supernatural entities exist in parallel with the world of the living. Though it is one of the most haunted locations in France, the Château de Fougères does not have a single explanation for the strange occurrences that plague it. Instead, it is a tangled web of stories, each one a piece of the puzzle that binds restless souls within these ancient walls. The castle is said to be home to spirits unable to find peace. One of the most prominent of these spirits is Felix, a former owner of the chateau. His death remains shrouded in mystery, his body discovered in a sealed room. Many have experienced strange phenomena within this very room, from soft footsteps to an inexplicable, chilling coldness that cannot be explained. But Felix is not the only ghost that haunts the castle. There is also the tragic story of the caretaker, who came to the chateau to settle a debt, only to be murdered in an empty room. His restless spirit is said to wander the hallways, unable to break free from its eternal torment. Perhaps the most disturbing of all the spirits is that of Alice, a young woman who died in her room after succumbing to a severe infection while pregnant. Witnesses have reported hearing her labored breathing and faint sounds of someone calling out a name in the dark during the stillness of the night. These spirits do not merely haunt the space, they interact with those sensitive to the supernatural, drawing them into a world where time seems to cease, and past and present merge into one haunting existence. Entering Château de Fougeray is to immediately feel a strange atmosphere, as though time has stopped and invisible beings still linger between the two realms. The darkened hallways, dimly lit with flickering candles, always seem to be full of shadows, never truly empty. Especially at night, the air becomes thick with the eerie sounds of footsteps, soft, deliberate steps, as though someone is quietly walking in the darkness, though no one is ever seen. On quiet nights when the moon is hidden behind heavy clouds, a chilling laughter can be heard echoing through the halls. But it is not the laughter of any living soul. It is an unsettling, distant sound, like a mocking presence from beyond the grave. The laughter is not joyous, but rather a mocking, eerie sound that fills the listener with dread, leaving them unsure whether the laughter is meant to torment or simply to remind them of the castle's tragic past. Alongside the laughter, faint whispers often rise in the night, soft voices recounting sorrowful tales, full of pain and regret. One of the most terrifying phenomena is the appearance of shadowy figures that move silently through the castle's dark corridors. It is said that these figures never pause. They glide past, like mere illusions. But every time a flicker of light touches them, they vanish into thin air, leaving behind a space filled with an eerie fog and an unrelenting cold. These phantoms are never seen alone, and their presence is often accompanied by the sound of sharp, ragged breaths, as though someone is standing just behind you, panting in the darkness. Yet the most terrifying sound of all is the soft, desperate voice of a woman calling out from empty rooms. The voice is gentle, yet filled with anguish, as if a woman is pleading for help in the most desperate of tones. Several visitors have reported hearing these faint cries near the rooms where Alice's spirit is believed to linger. They hear the calls, soft and pleading, as though someone is trapped in the darkness, seeking help. But when they approach, everything falls silent, returning to an unnerving stillness. At times, those with psychic sensitivity feel an invisible presence right behind them, the cold touch of unseen hands reaching out in the air. But when they turn, there is nothing, just an empty space, cold and devoid of life. These strange occurrences are not mere figments of imagination, but remnants of the castle's painful past, leaving behind an invisible terror that only those who dare enter can truly comprehend. Château de Fougeray, with its ancient, haunted atmosphere and its lingering spirits, continues to be one of France's most chilling and unforgettable places, a reminder of the tragic souls that remain bound to its walls. 3. Château de Brissac, the Green Lady Ghost and the Haunting Mysteries. Nestled in the picturesque land of Loire-Aubance, Château de Brissac, the tallest castle in France with 7 floors, attracts visitors not only for its stunning ancient beauty, but also for the chilling tale of an undying spirit, the ghost of the Green Lady. This is no ordinary chateau. It is a place steeped in bloodshed, where betrayal and murder have left an indelible mark, creating an unshakable haunting that grips anyone brave enough to step inside. The tragedy behind the haunting of the Green Lady stems from a dark love story. Charlotte, the wife, was suspected of infidelity with a lover. When her husband discovered the betrayal, in a fit of rage, he murdered both of them. After committing this horrific act, the husband fled, leaving Charlotte, who died in anguish and despair. Since that day, Charlotte's spirit has never found rest, eternally haunting the chateau. Her green dress, said to have a unique color, became a symbol of her ghostly presence, giving rise to the nickname Green Lady. Charlotte's ghost seems to never cease tormenting the chateau. Visitors frequently report seeing a shadowy figure, draped in the eerie green dress, gliding through the old rooms. As light flickers, her image vanishes, leaving only a cold, unnerving presence behind. Some have even felt her presence right behind them, despite no one being around, accompanied only by a cold breeze brushing against their necks, sending chills down their spines. Particularly haunting is the face of the Green Lady, without eyes, without a nose, an abomination that fills the onlooker with terror. Those brave enough to face this sight have been forced to look away in horror, unable to tear their gaze from the soulless face that remains forever frozen in time. Charlotte's form, stripped of all humanity, now only bears the empty, haunting visage of a spirit, a reminder of the tragedy that defines her. Strange, bone-chilling sounds are a constant in the chateau, especially in the early mornings when the first rays of sunlight filter through. There are gasps, dry breaths, as if someone is lurking in the darkness, adding to the suffocating atmosphere. Some have even heard groaning whispers, as if the Green Lady is calling out for help, but no one can reach her. Even more unnerving are the sounds of invisible footsteps, the haunting creaks of wooden floors that echo through the silence. But when turning around, no one is there. These untraceable footsteps seem to follow visitors, particularly during the quiet, dark evenings when the chateau is shrouded in an unsettling stillness. Witnesses claim to feel the cold, invisible touch of hands in the air, lingering like an unseen presence watching their every move. As one moves through the dark corridors, faint calls can sometimes be heard, soft, urgent whispers as though a woman is searching for someone in the shadows. The voice, unclear and desperate, carries the desperate cry of a restless soul. Several visitors, after hearing these calls, have rushed to leave, unable to endure the oppressive cold and the inexplicable presence of something unseen, something deeply unnerving. The eerie phenomena extend to the bedrooms, where strange occurrences unfold. Doors open and close by themselves for no apparent reason. Paintings shift position on the walls, and sometimes strange lights emerge from the empty rooms, despite all the lamps being extinguished. These phenomena only amplify the fear, as visitors are left with no explanation, but an overwhelming sense of being watched. Chateau de Brissac, with its otherworldly occurrences and the ghost of Charlotte unable to rest, remains one of the most haunted locations in France, its blood-soaked secrets and lingering spirits never truly leaving. 4. Gouffre de Padirac, the cursed cavern and the damned souls. Gouffre de Padirac, a magnificent natural chasm, lure visitors not only with its pristine beauty, but also with the terrifying mysteries that surround it. Located in the Padirac region of France, this gorge is nicknamed l'Enjambée du Diable, the Devil's Chasm, with a depth exceeding 100 meters and a diameter of up to 33 meters. Hidden within lies a subterranean river system that stretches for 20 kilometers, where visitors can explore the cavern's depths by boat, their hands brushing against the crystal-clear waters of the subterranean lake. But beneath its enchanting allure, Gouffre de Padirac is also shrouded in an eerie atmosphere, filled with inexplicable phenomena. According to legend, this chasm is where evil forces sought to drag the souls of the village down into the abyss. It is said that one fateful dark night, a demon crossed this land, filled with rage, intent on pulling the cursed souls into the depths of Gouffre de Padirac. But when the demon tried to cross the path of Saint Martin, who had saved these very souls, it was swallowed by the chasm itself, becoming part of the hell beneath the earth. Just hearing the name the Devil's Chasm is enough to send shivers down one's spine, invoking the terrifying nature of this place. Another tale tied to the chasm is that of a hidden treasure belonging to the son of an English king and his army, stashed away after the 100 Years' War. The legend tells of a priceless treasure buried within the heart of the gorge, But despite the villagers' relentless efforts to uncover it, the treasure has never been found. The souls of those who failed in their quest to discover it are said to still wander, haunting the area, thus transforming Gouffre de Padirac into one of the most haunted locations in France. Upon entering the chasm, visitors can immediately feel a stark shift in the atmosphere. Sighs, as if from restless souls, frequently echo from deep within the earth, heavying the air with an unsettling tension. Those who have embarked on this exploration recount that, as they glide along the underground river, a chilling sensation creeps over them, as if an unseen presence is standing beside them, never leaving. Phantom figures sometimes slip through the shadows, sending shivers through those attuned to the supernatural world. Many travelers have also reported hearing faint whispers from the depths, voices so indistinct they seem to call out their names from the darkest recesses of the chasm. When they turn, only dim light shines on the jagged, unmoving rock walls, offering no explanation for the origin of these sounds. Some say that, after returning from a visit to Gouffre de Padirac, they feel as if something is following them, an oppressive sense of being watched, accompanied by the sound of invisible footsteps trailing behind them. This persistent feeling forces them to glance back in terror, fearing what might be lurking in the shadows. Such occurrences solidify this place's reputation as one of the most haunted and unsettling, where not only the allure of natural beauty entices, but where the lingering presence of spirits and demons never truly fades. Gouffre de Padirac, the Devil's Chasm, remains a place of dread, where the ghosts and legends of cursed souls live on in the bowels of the earth, waiting for those brave enough to face them. 5. The Paris Catacombs, a macabre mystery beneath the earth. In the heart of Paris, the Paris Catacombs, known as the Catacombs de Paris, rise as one of the most mysterious and macabre sites in the city. This vast labyrinthine network holds the remains of over 6 million people, stretching for kilometers beneath the earth, evoking a sense of coldness and dread. Built in the 18th century, the catacombs were a vast cemetery formed after a severe health crisis in the French capital. As the traditional cemeteries became overcrowded, the Parisian authorities decided to relocate millions of bodies into the deep, ancient limestone tunnels, creating a grim and chilling space beneath the city's streets. This process lasted for 12 years and was conducted by night to avoid terrifying the public. Since then, the catacombs have become not only a historical landmark, but also a place steeped in mystery, holding tales of ghostly hauntings and eerie legends. The Paris catacombs are full of strange and chilling stories, legends that every visitor cannot escape hearing. One of the most infamous tales is that of a gravedigger from the Val-de-Grâce hospital, who became lost in the dark maze of the catacombs and disappeared for 11 years. It wasn't until his body was found that the story of his restless spirit, forever trapped among the bones of the dead, began to spread. It is said that his ghost still wanders the catacombs, never able to find peace, eternally searching for an escape. Another haunting legend revolves around a disturbing video discovered in the 1990s. The footage, recorded in the catacombs, shows a man lost in the labyrinth, frantic and screaming as he spirals into madness. Why he could never escape the maze of tunnels remains a mystery. These chilling stories, along with the strange sounds that echo through the catacombs, create a supernatural atmosphere that haunts those who dare enter, making it one of the most terrifying places in the world. As visitors step into the Paris catacombs, they are immediately struck by the stifling, damp air, as if time and space have frozen within these dark corridors. The coldness seems to seep from the very walls of the underground chambers, spreading from the wet stone to freeze every step. The tunnels, dark and endless, stretch on like a maze with no exit, their flickering lights casting brief, ghostly shadows that intensify the fear and unease. The sounds within the catacombs take on an eerie quality, as if the screams of the past echo from the shadows of the long dead. Heavy footsteps can be heard, yet no one is seen. Occasionally, a mournful cry breaks the silence, as if the spirits trapped in the earth still suffer. The clinking of iron shackles can be heard, like the chains of prisoners dragging their feet through the darkness, resonating through the narrow alleys. These noises not only haunt, but also make even the bravest souls tremble, wondering if they have wandered into a world from which there is no return. At times, when only darkness and silence remain, visitors may feel an unseen presence looming just behind them. A sense of being watched, quietly, relentlessly, persists, and when one turns around, there is nothing but the emptiness of the catacombs. These are the invisible phantoms, the souls of the lost who never found peace, forever bound to these dark corridors. The deeper one ventures into the catacombs, the more palpable these phenomena become. The heavy, erratic breathing, the ghostly footsteps, and the strange coldness that pervades the space make it impossible to ignore the presence of a supernatural world where souls linger, never to find rest. 6. Brocéliande Forest, Legends and Souls Unable to Rest. Brocéliande Forest, located in the Bretagne region of France, is not just an ordinary forest, but one of the most haunted and mysterious places in all of Europe. With its dense canopy of ancient trees and winding streams that cut through time itself, this forest has inspired many legends and myths dating back to the medieval era. While many people are familiar with the forest through its connection to King Arthur and the tales of the Knights of the Round Table, few realize that these very stories have helped shape one of the most haunting forests in France, perhaps even all of Europe. The most famous legend of Brocéliande is that of King Arthur and his mysterious hunt. According to local tales, the ghost of Arthur, who died in tragedy, eternally wanders beneath the ancient trees of the forest. Those who have witnessed this phenomenon believe that encountering Arthur's spectral form is a sign of impending misfortune. But the forest is also tied to other sorrowful tales of the Knights of the Round Table, ghostly apparitions unable to pass on, endlessly searching for peace they will never find. Stepping into Brocéliande Forest feels like entering another realm, a dark, enchanted place where the ancient trees twist and intertwine, obscuring the sky above. The atmosphere here shifts abruptly, giving visitors a clear sense of the change in both space and time. Just a moment ago, you might have felt the warmth of the sun filtering through the leaves, but almost immediately, the air turns cold, as if a gust from another world has swept through, bringing with it a chilling, dense air that raises the hairs on your skin. It's as though you've become lost in a haunted forest, where the atmosphere is thick with the souls trapped between two worlds, unable to pass on, unable to rest. On foggy nights, the forest seems covered in a thick, ghostly blanket, causing everything to blur into the mist. The faint light from lanterns struggles to illuminate the path ahead, and the world is submerged in dense shadow. The only sound that can be heard is the eerie howl of the wind, like the distant cries of the lost souls, filled with anguish and sorrow. At times, you might catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure slipping through the mist, seemingly human, only to vanish when you look again as though it were never there. These could be the lost souls, spirits waiting for a chance to be freed from the burden of immortality. Especially eerie is the Lady's Pond, where legend says that Viviane secretly imprisoned Merlin the magician. This spot is a hotspot for strange phenomena. On foggy days, the pond appears dark and stagnant, devoid of life, exuding an ominous stillness. Yet, when you look closer, you might see mysterious lights flickering beneath the water's surface like spectral glimmers, a sign of ancient magic at work. These lights are not ordinary. They emanate in a strange, otherworldly manner, as though someone is casting a dark spell beneath the pond, creating shimmering waves of light that chill your very soul. But the strange phenomena don't stop with the natural oddities. The sounds in the forest add to the inexplicable feeling of unease. The wind rustling through the trees creates noises that resemble the sighs of lost souls, while the distant rustling of wildlife in the underbrush deepens the sense of foreboding. On dark nights, you might hear the sound of footsteps crunching on the dry leaves, as if someone is silently following your every move. But when you turn, no one is there. These phenomena make Brocéliande not just a place of magic, but a realm haunted by immortal souls, invisible spirits that silently stalk those who enter. leaving them with a sense of dread that never quite fades. 7. Chenonceau Castle, haunting secrets and lost souls. Chenonceau Castle, located in the Indre-et-Loire region of France, stands not only as a symbol of magnificent beauty, but also as a place filled with a dark atmosphere, mysterious tales, and restless souls unable to find peace. Built in the 16th century, this castle carries a history full of turmoil and secrets that may never be fully revealed. The solid walls of the castle seem to guard the stories of the souls that linger within, unable to rest, wandering through its ancient chambers. One of the most chilling legends surrounding the castle is that of the Bride of Tressisson. On her wedding day, the beautiful bride was murdered by her own brothers and buried alive within the castle walls. An unimaginable crime, and since that day her spirit has been trapped, unable to move on, forever bound to the castle. It is said that on quiet, late nights, if you listen closely, you can hear her agonized cries echoing from the brick walls, as if her soul is still searching for a way to be freed. In addition to the bride who was buried alive, the castle is home to countless other restless spirits. One of the most bizarre phenomena is the haunted card room, where phantom players still gather at night. The faint sound of laughter and the rustling of cards, as if they are moving by themselves, fills the eerie silence of the room. Curious visitors often shudder as they recount feeling an unseen presence sitting beside them, the soft sound of footsteps accompanying them. Yet when they turn, no one is there. Especially on rainy nights, the haunted card room, where trapped souls still play their eternal game, seems to come alive. The sound of shuffling cards and strange laughter reverberates in the stillness, as if invisible players are staring at you. The moment you step inside, you are engulfed by a strange, suffocating feeling, as though you have entered another world where time has ceased. Sometimes you can hear ghostly laughter echoing, whispers in the dark, or even hushed voices, as though someone is revealing the castle's darkest secrets. Within the castle, a headless ghost is said to roam the halls, the image of a headless bishop in a white cloak, a ghostly figure that never stops moving, silently passing through walls, creating a cold, heavy atmosphere. This bishop is believed to have died a tragic death during the castle's chaotic history, and now his spirit wanders aimlessly, forever searching for something he can never find. This headless specter is known for its eerie presence. Sometimes it's just a shadow passing through the hallways. Other times it appears suddenly, its hollow eyes staring directly at you. Many visitors have reported a peculiar chill engulfing them as this ghost passes by, as though a gust of cold wind from the afterlife has taken over the space. There are nights when the fog envelops the castle and the long corridors become endless dark paths. Suddenly the air thickens, growing cold, as if the breath of the restless souls is infiltrating every corner. You may feel the presence of an invisible specter watching you, a chill brushing past your shoulder, or the faint sound of footsteps echoing in the empty rooms. It feels as though someone is standing behind you, but when you turn, only silence remains. Beyond the strange tales, the castle also holds numerous unexplained phenomena. Visitors and guards alike have heard ghostly footsteps, sometimes accompanied by strange noises, like something heavy being dragged across the wooden floors. Shadows flit by like wisps of smoke, intangible but enough to send chills down your spine. Some have even reported that in certain rooms, lights suddenly go out for no apparent reason, further deepening the ominous and eerie atmosphere. Chenonceau Castle, with its wandering phantoms and chilling stories, will forever remain a place haunted by the past, where the souls of the restless still linger, waiting for release that may never come. 8. The Bastille Fortress, a prison for souls and terrifying tales. Located in the heart of Paris, the Bastille Fortress was once a symbol of power and cruelty under the monarchy. With its towering 8 spires surrounded by a deep moat, Bastille stood as an impregnable fortress and later became a notorious prison. Before it was stormed and destroyed at the outset of the French Revolution, Bastille had been the holding place for several infamous and mysterious figures, such as the Marquis de Sade and the Man in the Iron Mask. The walls of this fortress bore witness to countless atrocities and horrific torture, making Bastille not only a historical landmark, but also an overwhelming symbol of suffering. Today, the remnants of Bastille still linger on Henri IV Boulevard, with part of the site replaced by the Bastille Square. Yet the bloody memories and lingering spirits remain, hidden in the shadows of the area. With its blood-stained past, it comes as no surprise that Bastille has become one of the most haunted locations in Paris. It was not only a prison, but also a place where tortured souls were trapped in dark, oppressive chambers. Over the years, numerous stories have been passed down about the ghosts of prisoners who died in horrific conditions, their spirits unable to move on. It is said that on dark nights, the groans of these souls still echo in the air, carrying with them a profound sense of sorrow and despair. The ruins of Bastille today hold an eerie atmosphere, heavy with an unsettling presence. The surrounding space seems shrouded in a foggy mist, adding to the dread that lingers in the air. Some claim that each step taken in this area feels like the footsteps of a soul awaiting final judgment. Time has ravaged the fortress, but it still cannot conceal its grim, harsh visage. The sensation of an invisible force seems to haunt the place, as if the entire area is cursed, trapped in a state of eternal unrest. At night, the atmosphere around Bastille Square grows even more oppressive. The sounds of prisoners' chains clinking and dragging on the cold stone floors of the ancient cells fill the air. The clang of shackles echoes through the space, merging with the silence and sinking everything into a state of terror. Strange, eerie sounds, mournful screams, and the agonized cries of prisoners tortured for endless nightmarish days seem to rise from the very ruins of the fortress. In the desolate corners of the fortress, strange moments occur when a shadow swiftly crosses the dim light, only to vanish into the darkness. Particularly, sometimes people claim to have seen the figure of a man wearing the Iron Mask, one of the mysterious souls once imprisoned within Bastille, gliding through the hallways, flashing momentarily before disappearing, leaving behind a chilling silence and deep fear. Those who are fortunate, or perhaps unfortunate, enough to catch a glimpse of this apparition report a bone-chilling cold sweeping over their body, as though the spirit is watching them, following them from the shadows. What remains now are the crumbling walls, broken stones, but the space still holds indescribable secrets, haunting, unsolvable mysteries. The souls that cannot move on still wander in the darkness, forever trapped in this space, a place that once bore witness to unimaginable pain and brutality. The Bastille Fortress is not only a historical relic, but also a place where terrifying secrets and restless souls remain hidden. The ghosts linger in the ruins, waiting for an awakening that may never come. 9. Garnier Opera House, haunting mysteries and the ghosts that linger. Located in the heart of Paris, the Garnier Opera House, Palais Garnier, is not only renowned for its grand artistic beauty, but also for the mysterious tales and ghostly stories that echo through its shadowy corners. Built in 1861, this building has inspired countless eerie legends, the most famous being Gaston Leroux's The Phantom of the Opera. However, the truth behind these myths is far more terrifying than the imagination could ever conjure. In 1873, a devastating fire left Ernest, a talented pianist, disfigured and bereft of his only companion. In his despair, Ernest chose to live in hiding within the opera house's dark, subterranean chambers, away from the world above. It is said that he spent the rest of his days in the hidden corners of the building, surviving on fish from the underground lake, with his desperate cries echoing through the backstage halls, a constant lament never silenced. Since Ernest's disappearance, the Garnier Opera House has been the scene of countless strange events and unexplainable supernatural phenomena. One particularly chilling story is that of a mysterious death of a stagehand, discovered hanging in an abandoned room. Strangely, the rope he used disappeared without a trace, leaving no evidence behind. Additionally, during a performance, a heavy chandelier fell, killing an audience member seated in seat number 13, an omen of bad luck that has never been forgotten. Moreover, a special box, number 5, remains an integral part of the Opera House's ghostly legacy. This box is always rented by a mysterious stranger, who positions it strategically so that those seated within can see everything, but are unseen themselves. Rumor has it that those who sit in this box can feel a presence watching them, though they never see anyone, only a cold, chilling gaze following their every move. As night falls, the atmosphere inside the Garnier Opera House grows heavy and foreboding, as though a nightmare is slowly taking over the entire building. Strange noises echo through the silent halls, hurried footsteps in the corridors, clapping in the dead of night, and sometimes the sound of rapid breathing from somewhere in the darkness. There are evenings when the dim lighting causes you to feel an invisible presence, as if someone is standing right behind you, watching your every step. The basement where Ernest once hid remains a place of both allure and terror. The cold, eerie atmosphere of this underground space makes it even more mysterious, as though restless souls continue to wander, waiting for a chance to reach out to anyone who dares to enter. Formless shadows, chilling sounds, and cold stares haunt this space, making the Garnier Opera House not only a masterpiece of architecture but also a place steeped in unsolved, horrifying tales. 10. Au Vieux Paris d'Arcole, Terrifying Mysteries and the Haunting Spirits. Along the ancient Chanoinesse Street, the Café Au Vieux Paris d'Arcole is a popular destination today, offering a stunning view of Notre Dame Cathedral. Tourists and locals alike enjoy the peaceful atmosphere of the cafe, where they can relax and sip coffee in tranquility. However, beneath the beauty of this historic street lies a dark and chilling past, filled with haunting and sinister tales. Back in medieval times, this area was infamous for a secret tavern called Affaire de la Rue des Marmousets, or the Marmousset Street Affair. During that era, this street was known not only for its delicious pâté and savory meat pies, but also for the horrifying acts that took place within its walls, acts that no one dared speak of. One of the most terrifying stories comes from an unholy alliance between a barber and a baker, a partnership steeped in horror that history has never forgotten. According to legend, the barber and baker had a grim and twisted agreement. Every day, the barber would lure unsuspecting victims into his shop, where they were kidnapped and murdered. Their bodies were then sent through a secret trapdoor, leading down to the baker's cellar. There, the remains were turned into meat pies and baked in the oven, then sold to unsuspecting customers. This delicacy, once a local specialty, was unknowingly made from the bodies of innocent people who had been brutally killed in a heinous plot. This macabre practice is said to have continued for many years before the dark secret of the pair was discovered. Eventually, they were captured and publicly punished. They were burned alive in the square, and their house was razed to the ground, burying the terrifying memories of the crime. Yet, the legend has never been forgotten, and it continues to haunt the Chanoinesse district to this day. Today, when walking through this area, particularly near Au Vieux Paris d'Arcole, many people still feel a strange presence lingering in the air. The shadows of the past seem to haunt the place, making the beautiful surroundings still feel unsettling. Some have reported hearing odd sounds like heavy breathing or whispers carried by the wind. Although the crime was uncovered, the vengeful spirits of the victims remain trapped in the shadows, unable to find peace after the horrors they endured. On late nights when the darkness thickens, the residents of Marmoset Street often hear strange noises, sounds that resemble the horrific screams of a victim being butchered, a blood-curdling and ghastly sound that echoes from the dark corners, as if the barber and baker's ghostly figures continue their grisly work. The gasping breaths, the agonized moans of the lost souls persist in the air, sending chills down the spine of anyone who dares to listen, as if something or someone is watching from behind. On foggy nights, when the soft light dims and the streets fall eerily silent, an oppressive, suffocating feeling takes over the atmosphere, as though unseen eyes are watching from the darkness. Several visitors have shared strange experiences when walking through the quiet street at night, describing a suffocating coldness, as though 1,000 icy stares were bearing down on them from all directions. Especially on silent nights, the haunting sounds of a distant wail, a tearing fabric, or sorrowful sobs can be heard in the wind, as if the restless souls are still bound to the mortal realm, unable to escape the pain they endured in their cursed lives. At the site where the barber and baker once lived, many have reported seeing ghostly figures drifting through the darkened streets, their eyes glowing like red embers, watching anyone who dares to enter the place once tainted by unspeakable crimes. The spirits of the victims, unable to find peace, continue to scream out in the night, their cries full of agony, forever marking the suffering they endured. One particularly disturbing sight that has haunted many is that of a woman, eyes closed, holding a warm pâté still dripping with fresh blood, wandering the street like a phantom searching for the next soul to consume in her insatiable, horrific hunger. Are the spirits of Marmoset Street still lurking, waiting for revenge, or will they forever haunt the place? Leave a comment and share your thoughts on this chilling tale.